It is time for you to rethink your emergency fund. Now, I know that your financial advisor has probably told you you need to save up for a rainy day. You need to have cash reserves that represent 3 months of your salary, etc., etc. Here in 2021, that guidance is just plain irresponsible. Parking a bunch of money in cash, whether that's cash in hand or sitting in a bank account, sets you up to be a big, big loser. The rate at which the Federal Reserve is creating new currency is only serving to destroy the buying power of that cash that you've got sitting on the sideline. Those financial resources are far better served in the markets, in equity markets, or holding hard assets. Put your currency where it is treated best. And I'm here to tell you that it's not treated best sitting in a traditional bank account these days. Fintech banking, simply sitting it in one of those cash equivalent accounts, also not a great idea. But what you see with the fintech offerings are some really smart solutions that give your currency exposure to the markets without you having to do much along the way. The example that I like to use is Wealthfront's new offering, where you can park a certain amount of money in the Wealthfront cash account, and they now have some automation that you can invoke that will move money into investments based upon a threshold that you set. For example, let's say in one of your bank accounts, whether it's the Wealthfront cash account or something off of the platform, let's say you're holding $8,000 in one of those accounts. You go into Wealthfront, you tell the automation that, for example, anything over $6,000 move into the investment category, and you get to choose which of the investment accounts is the target for this move. And once your balance on those source accounts exceeds, so in my example was $6,000, exceeds $6,100, the automation will take that excess and move it into the specified investment account. And Wealthfront's robo-advisor software has historically done smart things to move those funds into and out of positions within that investment account, and in my experience has generated really respectable returns. So even with zero investing experience, you now have vehicles that will treat your money far better than they have been treated in a traditional banking arrangement. Think differently about your emergency fund. After all, why are you creating an emergency fund? For that emergency, for that rainy day. You want to be able to afford the unexpected. With that said, it makes no sense to hold resources, financial resources, in a vehicle that's being eaten away, a vehicle whose buying power is being eroded by the actions of an outside force. in this case, the Federal Reserve. As the Federal Reserve creates more currency, the buying power of your financial resources sitting in traditional banking solutions is being chipped away. It's all about growth. It's all about preserving buying power. And in order to do that, you've got to have exposure to the markets. You've got to have exposure to crypto. You've got to have exposure to hard assets. For a long time, the assumption was investing is risky. Truth of the matter is there's risk with anything you do, and the tables have literally turned. I'd even say that it's worse than risky to be sitting in cash. With the way that the world is moving, sitting in cash is downright irresponsible.